Can we talk?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so Alasdair, it's been almost a year. What's changed?
This time last year, I was 6 months into leaving my job, and then I was trying lots of different ways to make money as a creator. I tried making merch, I tried launching a product, and nothing was working, but all of those new business ventures cost more money. So I was just losing money all the time. So it was a little bit stressful last year, and not many brands were reaching out. But now there's more business, more sponsorships, and even more money than I can handle. Yeah, so new kind of problems, but much better problems than a year ago.
Okay. And what's the difference day to day?
This time last year, I'd be worried about next week, rarely even worry about next month. But now I'm thinking like multiple months ahead because I know where the money's going to come from, what we have to do to earn that money.
Hmm? And what were you worried about 1 year ago before we started work together?
After leaving your job and trying to chase your dreams, you're worried that if it doesn't work out, you have to go back to your job. As a loser, as someone that failed, I was worried about running out of money. I was worried that I made the wrong bets, that this actually could not work. And yeah, now I'm no longer worried if there's a future in this or not. It's a question of how big is that future? Because it seems big, but we don't know what's the limit yet.
Yeah. And just so everybody knows, like, how much money have you made in last month?
In the last month, oh, I don't actually know last month. I just know our biggest month was something like $127,000 in sales.
And that's, I think, without the big commission check from some of the contracts.
Yeah, big thing we've changed over the last year is not just charging one upfront fee, but getting part of our fee in performance and commission. And that's been a pretty significant contributor. So 127K, that's just in the base fees and base sales. But once we start crossing the view counts or the likes or the sales the targets that we've set, it will probably be more than that by the end of the year. But yeah, this time last year, it was nothing.
So if you would be put in the position of like someone who's just starting out, who's possibly have like big reach, but not a lot of ways how to monetize that, like what would be the course of action that you would recommend to someone like that?
So something that I'd recommend if you're just starting to get a lot of views, you probably subscribe to and are viewing these creators are telling you need to create a course or you need to create a product or you need to sell merch. And they're telling you how much money they're making from these, or you need to sell coaching. Those are the most common things I heard last year. But in reality, you are where you're at right now getting these views because you're really good at making videos and you really know how to get lots of views. So that should be the skill or the product you're monetizing. You should be selling your media product. And you probably are taking on a few sponsorships. Like you probably have like one or two here and there. It pays you a surprising amount of money. I was surprised the first time I got paid $100 to make a video. And so my recommendation is if you are ambitious and you want to earn more money, you should first figure out, are you getting the most money possible out of those inbound deals? And then second, you should think about, can I go out and find more of these deals? Can I do something so that I don't just wait for people to reach out? I reach out to them so I take control of my own business. Because a big difference between myself now and compared to all the other creators I know, most of them are really worried. Like they might be earning like $10,000 to $20,000 this month, maybe, but they have no idea how much money they're going to make 2 months from now, or even sometimes 1 month from now. But we have a pretty clear idea. If we reach out to X amount of companies, X amount will reply, and X amount will turn into a call, then X amount will convert into a sale.
And then let's say that you're getting some sponsorships, but not a lot. Then would you recommend first people to start reaching out to other brands or actually maybe working on something else first
Yeah, so
on their own business?
it's going to depend on how much, but if you have enough volume, like if you have like one or two deals a month and you're able to start figuring out if your current sales system is good, then I would recommend working on that. You should figure out like, are you getting as much money as possible? Can you actually be selling more videos? Can you be adding performance to those videos? Can you be getting cash up front? Because if you start to scale before you have these foundations, it might make the scaling and growth process even harder. Like for example, if right now it's a bit annoying to chase one sponsor for a late payment, imagine how annoying it is when you have to chase 10 sponsors for that late payment. There's probably a lot of little things like that going on in your like sponsorship model right now. These problems are easily fixable and they can be fixed very fast. I think when we first started out, we weren't doing that much crazy outbound. We just had a few deals,
No.
but in our first month, we earned something like 20 or 30K. And a lot of it was from making simple changes, like asking for money up front, asking to do multiple videos and getting performance in those videos. Then once we figured out we can start offering packages like that. Now, every time we reach out to somebody, on average, we'd get more money from each person, and we get it faster with less stress.
Because if you think about it, like if you reach out to other brands, but you have this leaking bucket, like this won't help. First, you need to get the fundamentals right?
Exactly.
You need
Exactly.
to know, like, for example, like this won't help you. Even if you close like 10K deal, hypothetically, this still won't be helpful if you're not gonna ask for at least some money up front, because you're gonna be waiting a lot of time to get this 10K to actually invest back into the business. And it can even make things more difficult because you will have to invest in production and stuff.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
like, yeah,
Yeah, something a lot of people don't think about, like our good cash flow is kind of a fundamental for pretty much every business on the planet. It's just something creators don't really think about. Like, for example, it's not just having to deal with all these late payments because you posted a video and now you have no leverage to convince them to pay you on time. It's not just that. It could be you are investing money into production. And now let's say you have to do 10 sponsorships and each sponsorship costs you, like each video will cost you $200. Now you have to spend $2,000 on production that you might not have.
What is the biggest advantage right now of like having this business structure in place, and the thing that you're the most proud of in your life when it comes to your business?
Well, a year ago, I had to be really, really careful about what money I was spending and how I was reinvesting. Because if I did not get a return on investment soon, then I would run out of money faster and have to go back to the job. And now we're at the point where, because we have such good cash flow and like such high volume of revenue, I am actively looking for ways how we can reinvest back into the business. And I can be a bit less careful or take riskier bets on how to improve the business. And yeah, we can just grow a lot faster. We're also doing a lot of other cool things. Like now we're working with a lot of brands that are much more well-known, and that has helped out with sales too.
Okay. And what would you say is the best for smaller creators who maybe are doing this part-time? What's the biggest advice for them?
Yeah, I think something to really think about is your risk profile. When I first started earning money from content, I actually reinvested everything I had back into the business. I hired editors and then I started working at the end because I did have money coming from my regular day job and that was enough to support my living. So I thought I should bet hard on content because I feel like content is going to be huge, not just for the world, but also for me. So yeah, think about your risk profile.
Yeah, and would you advise actually people to outsource some of the business things, like reaching out to people, negotiating and stuff?
I think unless you really know the agency or management you're going to work with, most often it is a poor idea to work with those agencies. Most creators I know are unhappy with their agency and their manager. Just to like illustrate, I only know my case in detail, but the manager that I was working with, this is back when I did not have, I found out recently that they did not reply to an email from a smartphone company. And I met another creator that worked with a smartphone company, gets less views than myself, but he got paid $25,000 to make one video and my management just didn't reply to them. So not only do you not know if the manager is doing outbound or not, most won't, but you also don't know if they're taking care of your inbound or not. And if you do want your creator business to be a serious thing, you can't outsource the business part of your business. The best you can do is learn how to do it yourself and then hire someone in-house to take care of it or someone you know very well. Because actually the business part of your business is the highest leverage use of your time probably at the moment. Even though you know how to make a lot of views and there's a lot of value from those views, you're not earning much money from it. So you have to figure out how to earn money from those views.
So when do you think it's a good moment to actually think about outsourcing the business part of the business?
So it depends what you mean by outsourcing. I think
Outsourcing, but like finding someone who can actually help you, like hiring someone who can maybe take your calls or maybe negotiate for you.
yeah, if you don't know how to do sales, how to do outreach, and you start hiring someone for this, and they might not be, if they're not the best at what they do, if they're not an A player, you don't know if they're doing the job right. A bad hire could lose you a lot of money. So often, if you're a creator, I would recommend learning how to do the end-to-end sales process on your own first before hiring somebody. So at least you know if they're better than you or if they're lacking in some way, if they're doing something wrong. Perhaps what is actually more valuable is hiring someone more like in a consultant capacity. Like you want to be speaking to people that know what they're doing with outreach. You don't want to be figuring it out on your own. This is a system that's been tried and tested by other businesses. It's just not often used for creators.
And what would you say are the biggest mistakes that creators do? That's basically how they self-sabotage themselves.
Oh, there's so many things. Over the last year, I've learned so many silly things I used to do, and I lost so much money doing it. One of the things seems really straightforward, but not getting on a call means if you pitch a number that is too high, they will just ghost you. Or it means you will likely pitch a number that's too low, and they'll say yes, and you would have left money on the table.
Yeah, I'll just add that, there are only two things that you can actually really do very, very poorly when it comes to negotiations and like making an offer. One is making an offer for like 1K to someone who only has like $100 budget. Well, this deal will not go through, and maybe it shouldn't in the first place. And then the other mistake is offering someone a 1K deal when they have like 30K budget.
Yeah, and I was making that mistake this time last year. I was too scared to pitch high because whenever I did, they just stopped responding.
So how can they actually like have higher price?
Oh, the way to have higher prices is you get people on a call, you ask them what their budget is. Sometimes they'll tell you, sometimes they won't. When they don't tell you, there's a lot of tactics to try. At least personally, I use a few tactics to try to figure out how much we can charge. My favorite one is I give them a really big range. So I tell them we charge anywhere from 5,000 to 50,000 or 15,000 to 50,000. I just tell them that after this call, I'm going to go figure out my partner what packages we could offer. And so where along the range would they be comfortable? Sometimes they say they want to hear a low package and a high package, and I know that means they can offer something more expensive. But sometimes they're like, oh, actually, it's pretty much outside of our range. We can't really do 15K. I could probably only find 13K for this. Then I'd offer something around 13K and something more expensive and try and make the 13K option look better. That's my favorite tactic. Throwing a really big range and asking them, what should I get my partner to provide? What packages? What price point?
So what are the other things that we think that creators
Self-sabotaging.
Yeah.
So this one, I feel so stupid for not doing this before, but I used to never get cash up front. I'd always just agree to get paid 30 days after I post, create, spend on the video. I will only get paid 30 days after. And even then, a lot of the time the companies will pay late. And the only reason I always let that happen is because every other creator said it was normal. But actually, this is not normal. Most of the time, to get cash up front, all you have to do is ask. And sometimes they might push back a little bit, but we have never lost a deal by saying we only take cash up front. This is our policy. Is there any other ways I've been self-sabotaging?
Probably following up.
Oh, that is
where it's
huge.
difficult.
Oh my God. This was so, I can't believe I was this stupid. Like, it's so obvious now, but when people don't reply to your email, that doesn't mean that they don't want to speak to you. A lot of the time it means they open the email when they're busy or they needed to think about their reply. So once someone replies, you should just follow up as much as you can. Like, even many deals that would have been lost if I did what I was doing before and just replied once and never looked at the email again. We tried different strategies. Instead of just saying how cool we are, we also send some ideas, or we'll also send a meme. And a lot of the time, like, people will respond to the ideas because it shows you worked hard, or they respond to the meme because it shows you're human. Yeah, there's a lot of money lost by just not replying timely or not following up.
Yeah. And would you say that the complexity of the business went up when you were at the level, let's say, 30, 40,000 comparing to like 100K? Like, what's the difference really between that phase?
I think the complexity has been pretty similar between 30K and 100K. It depends how you get to 30 to 100K. We did outbound like very early, but the way we did outbound did not change much from 30 to 100K. We just did more. Actually, we have pretty much the same script this whole last year. But if we took the other route and we were just doing inbound, we might have been able to get to 30K, but we would not have been able to get to 100K with just inbound. The outbound unlocked a lot of extra growth.
Yeah, I think the biggest change that we have made to unlock this extra revenue was changing the offer and changing prices, basically.
Yeah, but I think that it didn't actually introduce that much more complexity. We were basically by adding, for example, by adding performance, an extra $10,000 if you cross 1 million views. In the past, you would have crossed 1 million views anyways. The only difference was you didn't invoice them for an extra $10,000. Yeah. And to me, like, spending 5 minutes to write an invoice for $10,000, I'd say is worth it.
Yeah. It seems like a lot of people are choosing to being a content creator just to get more freedom. And at the very end, like when I speak with them sometimes, I hear that they don't earn that much. And to actually maintain the career, they have to get 9 to 5 or a side job or get into a lot of shitty lowball deals. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous. If you're able to get views you are able to create really significant value that's not directly tied to the amount of time that you're spending. It's worth way more than any 9 to 5 job. If you're able to generate 100,000 views for every day that you work on content, the media value of those 100,000 views is something like $2,000.
But some people like don't know what to do with those views. Like that's the biggest problem, I think.
Yeah, that was me a year ago. I had no idea, but it's kind of understandable. Everyone tells you something different and no one knows what your exact situation is.
And what would you say about that? How important is actually having also a mentor or someone who can actually guide you through the process?
Yeah. So all that being said, hiring and working with Jan, I think was still better than just getting a course, mostly because of one thing. And the one thing is you can't just watch videos on YouTube of someone swimming if you want to learn how to swim. You have to actually do it yourself. You actually have to get in the pool. But it's even better if you can get someone there to watch you swim and tell you, what are you doing wrong? It's the exact same thing with sponsorship. For the first at least 3 months, almost every day, I was asking, like, oh, I just got this email. How should I respond to it? And be like the most obvious thing ever. It could be someone asking like, oh, I can't make the call today. I wouldn't know how to respond to that. There's some obvious things like you should offer like more than one time slot and you should offer a Calendly link. There's a million versions of that. Or maybe I was on a call and someone gave me an objection and didn't know how to handle it. And this is something you can't learn from a course because objections tend to be very specific to your situation. So I would just post it in the chat and ask how can I resolve it. Having someone to mentor and coach me throughout this last year has been very, very worthwhile. It's not just earning money in the business, but also as a person, I feel like I've really leveled up and become much smarter, much more mature as someone that does business.
So what changes do you see last year and this year when it comes to, for example, an average deal that you close?
Yeah, so this is one of the first things we actually were, I think within our first month, we started testing, increasing our average deal size. Most creators, as well as myself, I think we just offer one video to most clients.
And that was us in the beginning, right?
That was us in the beginning. We just did one video all the time, and changing to 3 videos was a huge thing, but not everyone will buy 3 videos. So we just started not offering 1 video and we only offer 3 videos or 5 videos. And now we pretty much always sell 3 videos or sometimes sell 5. So yeah, we increased the amount of videos we sell. We also increased the price of those videos and we also added performance to those videos. So this time last year, I would often sell a sponsorship for maybe like a couple $1,000s, maybe $3,000. That would be huge for me this time last year. But now it feels like I don't even want to get out of bed for 20K sometimes. Like it just feels like a small deal. Like when someone asks for something lower than 20K, I feel like they're spitting in my face. It's very irrational, but I feel insulted. So the average deal size has gone up by an order of magnitude easily.
10x, right?
At least 10x. We've had deals that are way that are 20x, but 10x easily.
So sometimes it happens that we actually have like deals that are less than 30K, but then we also have deals that are much more. And then we have like crazy commission structure.
Crazy.
For views for some of the partners, right?
Yeah. It's surprising how much money you can earn from just offering performance. Like once we started offering performance, I think these brands that we started working with, they felt like we had skin in the game too. So actually we closed even more deals, even though the base rate was the same or higher. But now also a lot of the time we're getting even more money because we're crossing a performance threshold.
Yeah, but it's not only performance, right? What's the structure? Maybe you can explain.
Yeah. So most deals, what we do now is we have something like 60, 70, 80% of the money be in the base rate. This is money they pay us upfront or in installments before any video is produced, 30 days before the video is produced minimum.
Yeah.
But also we'll get another, after crossing a certain amount of views, let's say 1 million or 2 million views, then we get another fat chunk of money. And recently what we've been testing is also something based on a CPM. So before, like this is, I think, another potentially huge unlock of revenue for us. Before in the past, we will just get paid if we cross 1 million views, if we cross 2 million. But now some of our deals, we're trying to structure them so we get paid when we cross 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, or even just a few 100,000. So hopefully we just keep getting paid for a really long time, because we've had videos this year that have made more than 30 million views, but we typically only had 1 threshold for performance. But there was even one brand that we spoke to that they just wanted to see higher thresholds. I think overall we offered them a more expensive package, but they just wanted to see like once we cross 10 million views, because now they look at that number and they think like we might have a viral video.
And how this can help someone who gets, for example, 100K views per video?
Yeah, so If you're getting 100,000 views per video, like typically what most creators do is just they'll take the 100,000 average and they'll multiply it by like 10. Let's say you charge $1,000 a video, but you'll sometimes get videos that will cross 200,000 views or 300,000 views. In theory, you should probably be paid double or triple what you were originally asking for if it does twice as much as you expected. And the likelihood is the sponsor will probably be happy to pay you that because they got a good result too. It's a lot easier to take money from somebody if they are happy.
And when it comes to changing the price and actually going from like 3K an average deal to 30, it sounds very fast and very simple. However, if you don't know what you're doing, I think it will be very difficult, right? Like,
Oh yeah, it was not, I would not have been able to do this on my own for sure. Jan kept us like just giving the right advice that we should only test one stage at a time. We should make sure we're doing our experiments in a fair way, but also advising on ways how we can like increase our pricing. Like this model of having 60 to 70% upfront and the rest in performance, it doesn't come from other creators. I don't know a single creator that does this. This actually just comes from Jan's previous years of business experience. Yeah, so that's another way like mentorship and coaching actually went a long way. I wasn't just buying buying advice about what we're doing now. I was buying experience, expertise from many, many years ago. And because of that, I probably saved a lot of time. That was the only reason we could probably go from 30 to 30K, 3 to 30K in not much time.
Yeah, but it's also worth to mention that for like people who's gonna watch this video, that it doesn't take just change. I mean, if you think that the change in the offer is just changing the price tag, somewhat you're right, but you also need to package this right and frame that right.
So
Otherwise, you might like meet a huge resistance. Face huge resistance.
Exactly. So actually, we did change our packaging quite a lot.
Yeah.
Even though we kind of do the same work, just the way we present it is very different now. And that's where Jan's templates and proposals from like previous businesses really came in handy. Because before, if someone reached out to me, the way I would negotiate is I'd reply back and be like, $2,000 for one video. That's it.
Yeah, so if you want to charge like brands more, what do you think you should do and you shouldn't? And what was your biggest mistake before?
So the biggest secret to increasing our prices from, let's say, an average of 3K to an average of 30K was pretty much just changing our packaging. We did have to improve our systems for how to close, but the only reason people wanted to pay us more is because we package a deal in a much better way. When we get them on a call, we take them through a proposal and a plan for a campaign, where I just break down all the bits of work we do to make videos, and we do multiple videos. I won't name all of them because the list is very long, but most creators are probably already doing things like replying to comments on people that comment on your sponsored videos. That is something of value and something you should call out in a package. Brands like, if I sold you a car and the car came with a super insane sound system, but I never mentioned this insane speakers and sound system, you wouldn't think about that when you're paying for the value of the car. It's the same thing with videos. You might already be making 3 videos per brand or 1 video per brand. And if you're already making videos for a brand, you're probably already putting in comments. You're probably already analyzing the results of the video. You're probably already cross-posting or tagging them. All of these things are value for a brand. It's just they're not thinking about it unless you call it out. And once we started mentioning we're going to do all these things for a campaign, it's not just making a video, it's not just posting a video, then we could start charging a lot more. Because now they think we are actually a good deal and we're actually underpriced, which we might be. Learning how to package, and so using templates Jan has made a huge difference, because I would not have known how to package videos. And to come up with the proposal template, it probably would have taken a really long time. But Jan's proposal template is something that he's used for years and has been refining over years from other businesses. And so we just knew it would work, and it did. It worked well. Yeah.
Like there was no experimenting on that.
I don't think we've changed the template since we've started. Maybe slightly. Maybe we rearranged a few things, but it just worked.
And how difficult it is to use the template? Like, I know it sounds very simple, but maybe some people will get confused in like how much time will they have to spend now on like working the proposal.
Yeah, so the template we use to increase our prices from 3K to 30K, it's pretty much made for dummies. It's foolproof. All the structure is there. You just have to fill in the information. Anybody can figure it out. You can put aside 1 afternoon or even less, maybe even like an hour. And through filling in the proposal and filling in a template, you will realize that you have been undercharging this whole time. It's especially easy if you have an example to copy.
So what's the difference between Alasdair back then, when you were just starting out on like thinking to monetize the channel, and Alasdair now, after all those lessons that we had?
So I think Alasdair back then did content as an expensive hobby. Every month losing money, but it was really fun. Alasdair now is a business owner, business operator. It is still really fun making content, but it's actually earning money. And when Alasdair now wants to earn more money, he knows how to do it. So like what work you have to do. Alasdair now also has a lot more freedom because as a business owner, you think a lot about how can you buy back your time. So I have a lot more time to travel, go to cool events, network more. Alasdair now actually also makes much, no offense to old friends, but makes very cool friends now. Alasdair now is socializing with other millionaire or like in some case even billionaire entrepreneurs. And yeah, meeting much cooler creators that are also at the top of their game because I have the freedom to say yes to more events and these more events leads to more connections. But Alasdair 1 year ago had to hustle and grind to get a little bit of money from AdSense to pay for his life. Yeah, Alasdair now has a lot more freedom, and with the freedom came like a lot more money, a lot better connections, and overall better happiness.
And how would you compare the enjoyment like 1 year ago and like when it comes to the creative work, working on your videos and on the sponsored
So
content as well?
I'd say the videos we've made this year are much cooler than the videos we've ever made before. Now we're working with really cool companies. They invite me to see things that no one in the world has seen before. They
Yeah.
invite me to go backstage to things.
I think last a couple of months ago, you went to Finland to
Yeah,
record pipes.
I went to Finland to like a top secret engineering lab, been to Wimbledon, I've been to like music festivals behind the stage. I've just done things that I've been able to work with people and I had access to opportunities that I did not even know were available to myself as a creator 1 year ago. A lot of that comes from reaching out to brands and like speaking to people that are able to offer these opportunities. But a lot of it is actually once you start charging these higher prices, selling these bigger packages, people are willing to do more things to accommodate your video because you are more important to them now. When I went to Finland to film in this top secret engineering lab, people dedicated their whole day to making sure I had everything. I had demos ready to film. They were showing me things that they would only show to clients that would spend millions of dollars on their service. Stuff that was completely out of reach. A lot of creators think working with a sponsor means selling out, but they don't consider that some sponsors work on really cool projects that you could take part in.
How much time do you think you would have to spend to do everything that we have done yourself?
I don't think it would be possible to do everything on my own without any guidance. If you have to figure out things from scratch and just watch YouTube videos, I think I would have gotten nowhere. I think you do save a lot of time by hiring somebody, but it's really expensive. I think the most time saved is actually just from learning. I made so many less mistakes because I could just ask you questions. You can probably go a long way by putting aside 2 days a week to work on selling more videos. It's definitely more intense in the beginning as you're figuring stuff out, but any amount of time you spend on sales, like if you only get 1 inquiry a month now and you always take that inquiry onto a call, it might take you 30 minutes or it might take you an extra hour a month. Well, that extra hour can earn you a few $1,000s and buy back much more time, and you can start taking on more inquiries or you can start doing outreach. So getting on a call, I think, should be a no-brainer. This extra half an hour to 1 hour per deal sets you apart from all other creators. 1, 2, you figure out how much money you can really charge them. And 3, you are way more likely to actually close the sponsor and close the deal. I think by going on a call, we have closed multiple more deals than we would have if we stuck to email, maybe even order of magnitudes.
Yeah, I think definitely.
And we've increased the prices in a way that would not have been possible if we did not get on the calls.
Yeah. But what would be your advice to people who don't have experience in like speaking with brands? Because usually probably it was the agents that was speaking for them.
Yeah, so if you've never spoke to a brand before, one, like can DM me and ask to see one of my previous calls. I can't post it publicly, but you can look. I really wanted to see calls in the beginning. And just see what is it like to get on a call. I was very nervous for my first call, but other things that really helped out was just having someone else that with experience watching the calls. Yeah, like he did point out a lot of mistakes, but overall I felt way better because there are actually some things that I was better at than I expected. And also I knew how to handle the next calls much better. My rate of improvement for handling calls was so fast because I could speak to Jan after every call, send him the recording, but also my nervousness decreased so much faster because I had someone like Jan giving me advice on what were things I was actually good at and the small things I had to fix. This feedback of the things like, yeah, I would say that these things just really improved my confidence. The confidence was much better because I
Yeah.
had someone to advise me.
And what would you say are the biggest mistakes that creators do when they, for example, try outreach? There's a lot.
There's a lot.
There's a lot.
So in the beginning, I made this mistake of only sending 10 emails a month because these 10 emails took a lot of time.
Yeah.
So I thought there's no way I could scale to 100 emails or 1,000 emails. But actually, it was taking us less time to send 1,000 emails than it initially took me to send 10 emails. Because we have these systems to automate sending the emails, to change the copy to each person we're sending, to use AI. Yeah, it is somehow easier to send 1,000 emails than it is to send 10 if you can ask someone like, yeah, and how do you do it?
Yeah, if you know what you're doing.
If you know what you're doing.
Like,
it's like if you made content for the first time. If you've never made content before, it takes you hours or days or even weeks to produce your first video. But then you speak to somebody that has done it before, they're able to show you how to edit your video in one day.
I think it's the same about, how to go viral. I think you have learned that just from the people who have done it. And you probably saved yourself a lot of time.
Yeah, that's why the 3 courses that made me go from 80,000 views a month to 80 million views, they worked because I was able to leverage someone else's knowledge, expertise, and their mistakes. I didn't have to repeat the same mistakes they're making, or actually, I didn't even know what mistakes I was making until they said those were mistakes that they made. Something about community, maybe?
Yeah, so oftentimes when I actually speak with creators, I see that they want to charge more and they want to earn more money with the content by working with more brands. But at the same time, they say that most of the friends that in that space, they don't charge that much. They don't know who to ask because nobody else is making money in the space or serious money.
Yeah, this was ridiculous. I probably spoke to over 100 creators trying to find one that did outreach or one that knew why their pricing was the way it was, or one that knew how to negotiate. The people that would respond to me, they were surely guessing. They had no stats to back up. They knew what they were doing. I think it's really important to surround yourself with other people that are making money. This, not only do you shortcut a lot of learning, it's similar but not equivalent to getting a mentor. A mentor is able to give you expert advice, but just being in a community of other creators that would also be earning money, they could give you the low-level, easy advice. They could share how much are they charging, if they could give advice on how were they able to handle a similar objection a brand gave them. They could help you shortcut a lot of learnings just being surrounded by other people that are making money too. Well, on top of that, because I started to spend more time with people actually earning serious money, not gonna lie, I felt like I had to start earning more money too. Otherwise, I was kind of a noob. It really motivated me to push harder, just surrounding myself with people that earned a lot more money than me, or people just earning money at all. There's so many it's ridiculous the amount of creators I speak to that do not know that you can get cash up front, that you can charge more for videos, that you can actually sell multiple videos at once, and that overall, they just purely guess what price they're charging. They never really tested increasing it in a smart way. The worst advice and most common advice I heard from creators for how to test pricing is just try doubling it the next time someone emails you. I just keep doubling it. And that doesn't work because you don't get enough data to know if actually doubling it was the right move or not. And also, you don't get to see what people's response is to your increased pricing because they're not on the call. Yeah, I got really bad advice by asking people that did not know what they were doing questions about what I should do to earn money.
Yeah, so how to find someone who actually knows what they're doing. How would you find someone who is who has the biggest chance to actually give you the good advice?
Yeah, so if you want to take advice on how to earn money, you first got to verify that this person is earning money, and they're earning money in an ethical way, in a smart way, that they're being methodological about it or systematic about it. If you want to know how to sell more sponsorships, you don't go ask an OnlyFans creator on how to do that because that's not how their business makes money. If you want to start increasing your prices, you don't ask people that have lower prices than you. You need to verify that the person you're asking has actually sold lots of sponsorships, that they have actually increased their prices, and they weren't just guessing, they were approaching it in a systematic way. Ask them, how did they actually manage to achieve this? If it seems like they were guessing and you get the response I get, it's I don't know, I just asked for more money, then that is not someone to get advice from because luck is not repeatable. Only systems are repeatable.
Yeah, it's also very important, what is the time horizon of someone making the money? Because like, it's very easy to be very lucky and earn like 40, 50 grand in 1 month with sponsorships and like feel like a pro. But at the same time, it's very important to consider if someone has continuity of like making the money, that it isn't
Oh,
just like 1 month or 2 months when they got lucky and basically they
ah.
made, entire back. Because like, how can they teach someone after not like sure that they figured out something?
Yeah, it's important to know that the person you're getting advice from is advising about something that they do consistently, not something that they did once and they did it by chance. Like, maybe something that could happen, for example, is I speak to a creator in Q4 and they'd say that they just increased prices just because they're just trying to increase prices for the fun of it. But it might be that they were only increasing prices and they only successfully did that because it was Q4 and naturally prices go up in this time. Yeah, we increased prices actually. I think most of our price increase happened in Q1 and our biggest sales month happened in Q1 when
Yeah.
ad sales would be the lowest and budgets would be the tightest. So you'd want to, if you can find someone that is like that has managed to go against the grain and has managed to, not just follow a trend, ride a wave, but create their own success, that would be the best person to get advice from.
Yeah, I'll just also look at like how consistent is someone at like making money instead of just focusing on how much money someone made, because like that tells you a lot. That tells you actually like how predictable your life will be if you're gonna listen to that advice.
Yeah, that's true. I would not want to take advice from someone that has earned $10,000 this month and won't earn any money for the next 4 months, because that comes with a lot of stress. I would rather listen to someone that consistently earned $2,000 to $3,000 from content every single month, but it was every single month. Yeah, because when you're stressed about the business, you don't make as good content and you also make worse business choices. Yeah. A lot of creators, I would think, especially like myself 1 year ago, I was very worried about inconsistent revenue, earning all my money in December and not earning anything for the next few months, and then earning a bunch of money in December. Because then if that is happening to you, you don't know when it's going to stop. It'll take you 6 months to figure out the money is going to stop. But if you are consistently earning money, you can see it slowly going down. You can do things to try and increase it. Or if you're increasing money month over month, it means you figure something out.
Yeah, and when into money, I see a lot of creators, because it's very unpredictable for like most of the people to actually like make the best use out of sponsorships. I see a lot of them having this scarcity mindset where they are afraid to actually invest and get knowledge of from someone who actually, knows how to price the stuff, who actually knows how to make money on brand deals, a lot more than they're doing currently with the same brand. Like, exactly. And they have this kind of thinking that once they're gonna earn more money, then it's going to be time to invest. But it's the opposite. Like,
Yeah, I have to spend money, and less money to make money.
yeah.
I was so scared 1 year ago to spend money. So scared because I wasn't earning much and I was losing money every month. So if I spent more money, it meant the timeline to make this career into a success would be even shorter. But one exercise I could recommend is made by Tim Ferriss. It's called fear setting. Just like write down on paper, what is the worst case scenario? If the worst case scenario happens, what would you do about it? And this actually removed a lot of the fear. In our case, working with you, you gave me a guarantee. So the worst case scenario was that guarantee that you would work for free to try and help us earn a lot more money. And I knew you can't work for free forever because you have to earn money yourself. So 1 year ago, I was terrified to spend money because every dollar I spent meant I had less time to turn this into a career, or at least that's what I was thinking. But actually, the way I should have been thinking about it is every minute I waited to spend more money and reinvest decreased the chance of me turning this into a career. Because if I wanted to figure out this sales stuff on my own, that would have taken me many, many months that I did not have. I did not have the money to spend on rent many, many months and figure out how to actually do outreach, how to close sales better. It actually saved me money to spend more money and hire you as like a mentor and as a coach and all of that.
Because if you think about it, like, people will pay for those lessons on like how to charge the brand more, how to get the money up front, how to actually like just, like I said, charge more for the content that we create and actually engage in long-term partnerships rather than one video that are just, very short time. People will pay for that, all the stuff, for all those lessons, but they'll either pay with time or with money. Like, sometimes you have to spend so little to actually save so much time in your life.
Yeah,
It's just worth it.
Yeah, and something to consider is if you're a creator that has a full-time job, your scarce resource is not actually money, it's actually time. Because you have 40 hours less than everybody else that's trying to make it. You have 40 hours less than the creator
And
that's
that's hard.
competing against you, and that
It's
puts you at
hard.
a major disadvantage. So one thing that actually helped me spend more money was just doing very easy calculations. What would I have to do to make this money back? So let's say I had to pay you $1,000 a month coaching for me. What would I have had to do to make the $1,000 a month back? Well, I had to increase from $2,000 to $3,000 per sponsorship. We actually went from 2 or 3 to 20 to 30. So
Yeah.
like that was very easy. Another way I could have made it back was sell one extra deal every 2 months. We actually sell like multiple deals. We sell way more deals now than ever before. And just as I started to do these calculations for like how could I earn back this money, I just realized there are so many different ways I could earn back this money and be at net zero again, that it was probably higher risk to my career overall to try to figure it out on my own than to hire you initially. And yeah, it was a lot more than $1,000 a month. I wish I could get your advice for $1,000 a month.
So what would be your advice to like a content creator who doesn't make a whole lot? For example, hypothetically, someone who makes like less than 5,000. What would be your advice to someone like that?
The only way you should be earning less than $5,000 a month is if you're getting less than 200,000 views a month, because the value of the views you are generating is worth more than $5,000 a month. So you're probably doing something wrong. My advice would be to figure out what are you doing wrong? Why are you getting lots of views that are worth a lot to people, but you're not earning money? It's like basically somehow you've managed to find yourself a gold mine, but you're not able to sell gold to people. This should be really easy to sell. Attention is the most valuable currency in our world right now. It should be the easiest thing to sell, but somehow you're not doing it. It must mean you're doing something wrong, which is totally okay. I was doing stuff wrong for a long time. It's just you have to work and figure out what it is you're doing wrong. And something I'd say, so if you're trying to make it as an influencer or as a YouTuber on the side, as a side hustle, and you have a full-time job, something else that I would consider is why are you doing this as a side hustle? Likely it is you want to become a full-time YouTuber or you want to become a full-time influencer. But the problem is you're only spending your weekends on your content. And now that I am full-time and earning a lot of money, I'm able to hire a much bigger team and I'm able to outpace any other creator that's just trying to do this on their own as a side hustle. When I was trying to make it as a YouTuber influencer for most of my journey for 2 years, I had a full-time job. And this put me at a major disadvantage. It meant I have 40 hours a week less than anybody else in this really, really competitive world to try and like figure out how to get views and try to earn money from this. The way I made up for it in the beginning was actually just spending money on courses, like buying back my time by avoiding mistakes that I was going to make just by asking other people, what should I be doing? I learned a lot faster. So instead of improving my content 10% every month, it was improving 20 to 30% every month, but at the cost of having to spend more money. But because of that, I was able to leave my job much faster. And then I was able to become a full-time creator. And as a full-time creator, I was able to start figuring out how to earn much more money. Because in the beginning, my focus was just on surviving. And now that I have the knowledge, I bought the knowledge on how to make more money as a creator, it's no longer about surviving. It's about how much money can I make.
And what kind of people should actually follow your advice? Like follow the stuff that you've done?
So not everybody can earn money as an influencer or content creator. To earn real money as an influencer or content creator, you have to have followers, you have to have views. The thing that most people don't get though, is you need way less followers and way less views than you think to start charging brands money. When you see Mr. Beast get like 100 million views and make tons of money, it sets your expectations really high. But the value of a video that generates 100,000 views, that's at least $1,000 to $2,000 depending on your niche. And 100,000 views is something you can easily make if you have followers and views. Like a lot of creators I speak to, they're getting millions of views a month and not earning money. But you should start earning thousands of dollars a month once you start getting hundreds of thousands of views a month.
Yeah, if you're not from this level, because I also see a lot of creators who, they are getting some views, they are getting like 10K per reel or like 20K per reel. Maybe it's better to focus on the product first before you're gonna sell it, because the video is your product. Like if you will try to sell something that is a commodity, so something that can be produced by almost anyone. I mean, the reel that gets like 10, 20K views, that might be very difficult because like the product is not that good. The product is, people can get it everywhere. However, if you will just work a little bit, if you will just practice enough to have this, I don't know, 100K per video or above 50 for sure, then like this can change in the future, right? But like for now, if you're getting a like 100K views per video, you shouldn't really have problem with like finding the sponsorships and like finding sponsorships that are paying you big, because like this is worth something. This is actually worth a lot.
Yeah, something that shocked me was how much brands were paying for views in traditional marketing. I spoke to
Yeah.
people that would pay $6,000 for 100,000 views in the US. And as a even I charge way less than that per view. So brands are really willing to pay for views. It shouldn't be hard to, if you are getting views, it shouldn't be hard to earn money, at least enough to sustain yourself as a full-time creator. If you've ever gotten 100,000 views on a video and you think you can do that again, you should be able to sell that video for enough to pay for a month.
Yeah. And what would be the advice that you can give to someone who gets a lot of views, but at the same time is getting lowballed by brands, even big brands?
So if you're a creator that gets tons of views, but still gets lowballed by brands and you take these lowball offers, it's not the brand's fault. It's your fault. It's because you did not know how to respond to the brand when they lowballed you, how to negotiate, how to convince them to pay you more money.
Yeah.
And you ultimately took the deal because you're not confident in your skills on how to sell yourself and sell your product. I completely blame myself for charging 10 times less than what I should have been charging 1 year ago. I just did not have the confidence, probably because I didn't have the skills and experience. I had no one to ask for the skills and experience.
How did you feel a year ago or 2 years ago when you were lowballed by brands and you were still taking those? Why were you taking the deals in the first place?
So when brands used to lowball me and I used to still take the deals, it was because I was scared I wasn't going to earn enough money. I thought that was the best I could do. I wasn't sure. I was really afraid that if I negotiated back, I would lose the offer and lose the money. But that fear just comes from the lack of experience, and I didn't have anyone to ask on how to negotiate. I did not know that if I tried negotiating on a call, probably I wouldn't lose the deal. Like the worst case scenario would have been the deal that they offered. But part of the reason why I was afraid of losing the deals was because sometimes I did lose them. I'd reply on an email with an offer that's too high and they'd stop responding to me. And that I also take responsibility for that because I should have been getting these people on a call. I should have been using better negotiation or sales tactics. It's like if you try to drive a car for the first time and you try to drive it without getting an instructor or a coach. If I did that and I crashed the car, there's no one to blame but myself because everybody else is getting a coach or getting someone to teach them how to drive. It's the same thing with selling and earning money. If you lose a deal because you thought you could do it on your own without leveraging someone else's experience, if you lose that deal, it's totally on you. You made it like a poor decision.
So what should someone do instead? Yeah.
Something to think about is if you could increase your price by $10,000, how much is the knowledge of how to increase that price worth to you? It could be worth $10,000 if you sell the deal once. If you sell the video more than once,
How I think about it is that there are skills nice to have and there are skills that are must to have. And the skills nice to have are those skills that maybe you can show off to your family once in a year, how you play piano, or every sometime you play with friends, you play football, or I don't know, you do anything else. And that's like nice to have. But then there are skills must to have that are going to be needed throughout your entire life. And if you're serious about going about being a content creator, it is going to be your life ultimately. So skills around being the content creator, about like making this career to come true, like those are must to have. And like thinking of investing in that is sometimes a no-brainer because it's going to be your life for the rest of your life. Like depending on like how long do you plan to like, keep the ball. But
yeah, actually, like one thing I got out of this whole mentorship and coaching is that now that I know how to sell brand deals for myself, if my content career ever blows up, I know I can sell brand deals for someone else, or I know I can actually sell something else to somebody else and earn money. It's a very valuable skill.
So why did you want to start the community?
Yeah, so part of it is hiring someone like you is really expensive and would have been out of reach for me 2 years ago. So to get your knowledge is traditionally very expensive, but even just a fraction of that knowledge would have been enough for me to really change my life 1 year ago. Like I don't think I need to earn $100,000 a month to be successful. 1 year ago, I would have taken $10,000 a month in a heartbeat. And the knowledge to get to $10,000 a month, you don't need to hire a full-time employee. You can just get advice from someone who knows what they're doing. But I didn't want it just to be a coaching program because I think a lot of value will come from creators speaking to each other. It's very useful to know how much people are charging and if they're actually consistently able to charge that much. Because I always see on social media like, oh yeah, I charge $10,000 for a video, but they might have only done that video once. You don't know, you don't actually know if it was one video or if it was multiple videos. It's really hard to ask these questions. But by having other creators share insights they've learned and share how much they're charging, sharing what brands they're speaking to, I think overall, like everybody can make a lot more money. Actually, maybe the rate of learning will be even faster than just like working with you directly over this last year because everybody's gonna make mistakes. And like we still made some mistakes, but now you're learning from the mistakes of 10, 100, or 1,000 other people instead of the mistakes of one person. So maybe these other creators only have 6 months of experience, but if there's 12 of them, that's 6 years of experience as well.
And how can someone know they are ready for like, join a club?
So the way I plan for this is we should have 2 levels to the community. So the way I think about it is that there are 2 levels of community. The first level is the stuff that you should focus on in the beginning. It's your fundamentals of your business. It's all the things you are doing wrong and all the things I did wrong a year ago. You're probably not getting cash up front. You're probably not getting multiple videos done in each deal, and you're probably not charging enough. You're getting inbound deals, but you don't have these 3 nailed down. I don't think you're ready to scale to this $100,000 plus a month because that's going to take a lot of work. So if you are starting to get deals and you are earning money from content, I'd say you're ready for the first level because you're probably undercharging. You're probably not getting cash up front. And you're probably selling just short-term deals like most creators are. But once you have figured that out, or if you are getting a lot more once you've figured out your fundamentals, or you're actually already earning a lot of money and you're able to afford like more of our time, like we'll be there for you to help you boost your business even faster. But only way to justify that is if you're already earning a lot more money or you're looking to earn a lot more money and start doing outbound and start actually working harder because it will take more work to earn more money. And so at some point you will be able to hire someone. If you are already at the stage you think you can hire someone, then it's probably you're already ready for the second level of the program. That is something that Yan has done, has built teams before, even in companies that ended up getting sold. But to get to the point that you're ready to hire someone, you need to be earning more money first. So the second level of the program really is just if you're already earning more money. Maybe the fundamentals aren't actually perfect yet, but you are earning enough money that you're able to start investing in either more coaching to learn faster, or you're able to start investing in your email outreach systems, which do cost money. It's not free. Or maybe like you're actually earning enough to start hiring people to help you with your sales so you can earn even more and you can start buying back your time. But to get to that second level, you need to be earning enough money first. So the idea with the first level of the program is to help you start getting consistent and good money. And the idea of the second program is to help you scale to your wildest dreams.
And then after someone can do it, and like after someone understands the fundamentals, after someone understands like how to actually reach out to brands on a consistent basis with the predictable system, then like what would be the best third step after someone is, knows the game?
Yeah, so I guess after you start earning good money as a creator, the fundamentals are down, your systems are efficient, and you are earning like enough money, then I would consider hiring, like buying more time from either another expert to take over that side of your business and or also hiring someone to take over the easier work in your business. But one thing that's been transformational for me is being able to hire and work with an A player, but that costs a lot of money.
Yeah, that's like not for everyone, especially now in the beginning when you try to outsource stuff that you don't even know how it works. There will be a lot of people who can just tell you anything and you'll be forced to believe them because like, how can you check that?
Yeah, I wanted to start hiring way too early, but that would have been a mistake because I would not know if they are wasting my money, if they're actually doing good work, what kind of work should I be expecting? Yeah.
I think lots of creators, they think from the other side, the opposite way. They think about hiring first and maybe not even have to learn like how to do the business for their business.
Yeah, you can't hire away your problems.
Yeah, you can hire away. Unless you're like,
unless you have
big
money.
pockets, unless you have like deep pockets, then you can. If you can spend like 6 figures on someone just to, get from the problem, then sure.
Yeah, that's
But
true. That's the only way. If you have a lot of money, like like a lot of money, then you
yeah,
can hire this A player that knows exactly what they're doing and you can just trust them. But if you don't have a lot of money, then the A player is yourself.
yeah.
You should learn all the skills so that if you hire a B player, you know how to make them the best version of themselves.
Yeah, definitely. And probably like the most expensive decisions, they seem free because they seem like there's no risk in them. But in the reality, you actually risk a lot of your time and a lot of opportunities that could have been converted to like better deals. For example, there's a lot of agencies or agents that will tell you that just for the commission, just for this like sweet 10, 15, 20, whatever they tell you, like whatever for this percentage, they will make you rich. In reality, like it doesn't work that way. It's not like you just hire an agent for like 15%. You'll become the rich. You'll actually have like multiple brand deals the next day. You actually have to know what you're doing. Otherwise, it's gonna be very difficult. Like people will lie to you. People will take advantage of you if you don't know business, and you're gonna lose like a lot of money on this commission only deals. That's what I don't recommend to people. Like find a
Yeah.
reliable partner instead of that, or learn from someone who has done it already, and then you can hire someone.
Yeah. So 1 year ago, I had the choice. I could stick to a talent manager or agency that would just take 20% out of every deal, or I could spend money to hire you. One looks like it costs money and other looks like it's free. But if you follow those choices into the future now, what the first choice, hiring an agency or manager, would have meant I made 20% less money than I was already making before because they were just looking at my inbound deals and not negotiating hard. The other route is earning over $100,000 a month. So not only will I be losing 20% on every deal, but also I would be losing over $100,000 a month opportunity cost. That would have been the most expensive decision rather than spending a couple $1,000s. Yeah.
Absolutely. So just, don't get fooled that you can buy very expensive stuff for almost nothing, for like no risk whatsoever on your side. It always comes with the risk. Like every decision is like risk oriented, and like like good decision makers, good business owners, like people who are successful in life, they just know the risk very well. And yeah, whenever there is a deal, they will take it, even though there is a risk. There is a risk, and that's how they make money. If you will try to be risk averse your entire life, then you will be not successful. Like you'll be success averse as well, because success comes from like making calculated risks.
Yeah, the most expensive mistake I would have ever made in my life was not spending money to
Yeah.
get expertise and mentorship.
Same for me as well, for like many years. It's not like only you have done it, right? I have
And
to face
actually,
for
yeah,
like
we've made those mistakes too.
we've done those mistakes too. There were some mentorship courses that I wish I could have taken years ago, but I was just not able to afford it. Like it was just outside of my budget, so I had to learn from the materials for free a lot of time. And now I see that instead of like taking a month or two to actually like grow something, it took me 12 months. I had no other choice at that time because like it was difficult. But if you have this luxury, if you actually can invest like even a fraction of your finances into growth, I really advise it. It doesn't have to be anything crazy in the beginning. You can like keep stacking up and keep adding that, the more you grow. But
Mm.
I actually advise to start with little steps.
Yeah, it's actually the exact same thing happened with content. My first 250 videos, nobody watched. Then I spent almost $1,000 on courses, and then 80 million people started watching the videos. And I tell people it's because maybe I told people it's because the algorithm was still discovering me, but the truth was I did not know how to make good videos. And I would buy back each video. I made 250 videos and nobody watched. So if I made 250 videos and they all take 4 hours each to make, that's 1,000 hours that I could have bought back for $1,000.
Yeah.
And I would pay $1,000 to buy back 1,000 hours of my life.
Yeah, so why do you think that creators who are hoping to actually earn money on brand deals after hiring an agency, they're not happy?
Yeah, so I think the agency and talent management model really doesn't work. It's something that was actually historically just adopted straight from Hollywood. And for them, it makes sense because in Hollywood, the only way you got your business was through your agent. Your agent would go out and look for movies and look for TV shows for you. With creators, for some reason, it's the exact same setup, but the agent doesn't go out and look for deals for you. The deals are actually already coming to you. So what happens a lot of the time is they only manage deals coming into your inbox and take 20% off the top for everything. But what draws a lot of creators in and what drew me into my talent manager initially was my talent manager showed, and they weren't lying, that they manage the biggest tech creators in the US. And so if it must work out for these guys earning tons of money, it must work out for me. But actually what happens is if your talent manager or your agent manages someone with more followers and subscribers and more views than you, why would they ever work and sell brand deals about you when they can sell brand deals about someone else that will earn them way, way, way more money? They just won't be doing the work for you because you only pay them a percentage. And your percentage, the actual value of your percentage is smaller than somebody else. Everyone thinks that 20% incentivizes everyone to be happy and work together. They only win when you win, but actually it kind of just ends up with everybody losing.
And how different this is from the agency?
So when coming up with this community, I did have the thought to start an agency or become a talent manager and just take 20% off of everyone else and look for deals for them. But I think this is the wrong way to approach business. I don't think you can name another business in the world that outsources the entire money side of their business to outside of their business. You want to keep your money in-house and take control of your money in-house. So my dream is for creators that run their own business as a creator to know that when the business is not doing well, they know what they can do to fix it. And when the business is doing well, they know what they can do to earn even more money and do even better. But thing is right now, most creators, when they're signed to a manager, is just a black box. They don't hear from them until a deal comes through. They have no predictability in the future. They don't even know if they're going to have a career in 6 months from now. But when you do take control of your own finances, you know when your career, what direction your career is going in, and you know how to make things better.